Welcome to Being at Home with George. I'm excited to be here, and let's begin the way we always begin by saying yes to life, embracing whatever comes up, and at the same time generating hope so that we can make wise, compassionate choices. Right now, I get the sense that we're in tremendous difficulty. There's a lot of uncertainty, and people are feeling powerless or feeling like things are out of control. I get the sense that we're going through something that's really, really existential. And I have to remind myself that life is difficult. And going back to my early days of recovery 41 years ago and reading M. Scott Peck, and he begins his book, The Road Less Traveled, under the heading of problems and pain. He says, life is difficult. This is a great truth, one of the greatest truths. It is a great truth because once we truly see this truth, we transcend it. Once we truly know that life is difficult, once we truly understand it and accept it, that accepting and understanding it, then life is no longer difficult. Because once it is accepted, the fact that life is difficult no longer matters because we know it's difficult. And our job is, how do we say yes to it? How do we have the awareness of it and then accept that the difficult thing has to be accepted, has to be embraced, has to be said yes to. And one reason it's so challenging is because it's painful and it's uncomfortable and we don't know how it's going to turn out. But we got to get out of blame and denial and just get into, yes, this is what's happening. What's happening is happening because the conditions for what is happening to be happening are present. And so the idea is saying yes to it, then we can do something about it. This is what I did 41 years ago with my substance abuse. Once I admitted I had a problem, said yes to it, then accepted it, then I could do the compassionate action of doing the things I needed to do that allow me to transform it and to transcend it by understanding it and accepting it. And so we have the same challenge here. So how do we do it? And we talk about the 4 A's, the awareness, the acceptance is what we're talking about here. And one of the things I had to do for the first 2 years is read these pages in the AA Big Book about acceptance. Every day for 2 years, I had to accept. When I accept things as they are, when I live in the solution and not in the problem, it helps. And so that's where we are. So how do we do this? We live in a solution. How can we change? If we don't like what we're seeing, then how can we not only move beyond it, but transform it? And so for me, it comes down to the idea that I do have awareness and I have this ability to self-regulate. So I get to choose how I interpret things. But I also realize that the ultimate freedom, being Independence Day, the 4th of July, and freedom, that the ultimate freedom we have is we have choice. We have this ability to create space between stimulus and response. And guess what? We've been doing that for 5 years on this podcast. I've been doing it for 41 years of being able to say yes to whatever comes up. And it's easier when it's pleasant and not so easy when it's unpleasant. And when it's overwhelming, it's still the same drill. It doesn't matter if it's a little bit or a lot. It's the same drill. How do we say yes to it? How do we embrace it? How do we go through the grieving of the denial, bargaining, anger, depression, acceptance, get the acceptance. And once we get the acceptance, like accepting my substance abuse, now we can do the compassionate action. What's the lesson? How do we learn? How do we transform it? Let's focus on the solution. The solution is how can we get beyond the illusion of separateness so we don't treat each other like things, we treat each other like whole people. And so that's where we can get to. And then the compassionate action, then there's the assessment, because we're not going to get it right. And we learn from trial and error. So when we don't get it right, we ask ourselves, what do we need to learn and practice to get there? But the main thing is that all of us are connected. We're all human beings, and we need to get beyond this illusion of separateness and figure out how we can do this thing in a way where we say yes to life and we use the roadblock as a stepping stone to go to another level. And maybe this is why we're going through this. Like I had to go through my substance abuse to really let my latent abilities express themselves. Because I like to say we some bad mofos. We are wired for success, but we have to say yes.